we've heard a lot of people say things like business is done in the car. And we've heard people even say, you got to go to automobile university, that sort of thinking. Were you getting wrestling advice, business advice, life advice? These car rides when you're traveling with Abdullah, you said he was a sharp businessman.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on some of that?
I can. There have been a few times when I've done talks with wrestling students. What do they call it? There's a name they give it.
Seminar.
And I remember thinking, what the heck am I going to be able to talk about? And then as soon as I went out there, you couldn't shut me up. So it was like 2.5 hours where I'm not able to show moves off as much as I am, hopefully impart some wisdom on people. And one thing I tell them, almost the first thing, is one of the biggest challenges you face in this business is the ability to take in information from everywhere and then somehow filter out what does not work for you while simultaneously holding on to enough of it so that it may come back to help you at a later date.
Yes.
And so when I was traveling with Abdullah, clearly you want to be that monster heel, and you're traveling with one of the great monster heels in the history of the business. So everything he says is a valuable resource for me. But when it comes to like putting people over, leaving territories, over doing jobs, I've got to like nod my head in agreement while also thinking to myself, I don't believe that applies to me in the current age. Like, I believe that if you do your job well enough, that you can lose. Now, I'm a little different because I'm much more of a normal-looking guy as compared to Abdullah. At that point, hair, shoulder length, not everybody and their brother had a goatee, and I was able to portray that sense of wildness to where people weren't sure where the character began and the real person ended and the character began. But I believe that I can do jobs, that I can put people over, and that if I am able to get my stuff in my way, and especially, from a character-driven standpoint, I'm going to be okay. And I had some of the biggest stars in the business tell me, you're losing too often, and I respected their viewpoints, but also thought to myself, this is a new age, and I just believed that I was going to be able to get over while losing, even though you have to chalk up enough wins that you look like a threat. But that was the type of thing that I would listen to, that I would take in, and that I would kind of filter out what I didn't think worked for me.